over, we've really conditioned them to say, look, I don't want to get the call that you went out and picked up 80% of a brush pile and left part of it on the edge of the street. We're not going to go there. So that's the trade-off, is that our contract, part of why our rate is lower than Oak Point's is because we've always done bulk once. That's what we've always done, and it kind of is, that's the new contract too. It just keeps rolling forward. The trade-off is it's a lot smaller. And then they measure it. And we don't want to do that. Okay? All right. Now, normally we don't have to pass this. Normally we like to get out there.
Yeah, there's no rush. So let's just sit, let it sit.
So why don't we, next month is,
September, can you all also, as you're mulling this over, make sure you're comfortable with how I design boat track.
So we're gonna come back and consider this next month, okay? We're gonna go up or down next month. So we consider, we talk about it this month. Next month we'll go up or down.
The only thing on the definition is you might want to say something that said if they intended it to be bulk trash. Because you can't really define it, it's really difficult way to do it. If you intend,
Determine intent.
if they place it out there and it's intended to be bulk trash, then hit this thing because.
Why don't you work the wind offline?
You know what's gonna happen, you're gonna say, well, it's not brush.
Okay, let's work it out offline, you guys, if you want to change the wording. Let's come prepared next month. Now, we can either, I can bring it back, or you want us to table this so it officially comes back, what do you want to do?
No, you can take no action, I'll just put it back.
So we'll just take no action. Next month, be prepared to go up or down with this thing, or change wording, or if you want to change the wording.
I can.
All right. Okay, next up, budget workshop findings.
We can keep this short. So guys, as you guys know, people over here and people over here, the problem I have is that we're not doing budget workshops. It's our number one duty. We wouldn't have spent anywhere near the amount of time tonight going through these numbers that if we done the budget workshop. In a budget workshop, my expectation will be we go line by line, figure these things out. I do think we're heading towards a problem here, because if you look at everything, we've rattled off, pick a number, $8–9 million worth of possible things, and we've shown $20–30,000 being put away for those big numbers. We're making assumptions upon the growth. In other words, we need developers in order to sustain what we have, and that's my whole issue, is that we should be living within our means, and then let the development take care of themselves. Now, that's a little more complicated than the way I put it, but my point on the budget workshop finding is, we have one that is a little bit of a problem with the former thing. Honest mistake there. We probably should have had 8 to 10 budget workshops and figure this stuff out, and people should know what the numbers are.
Again, you know that's in practice, that's never going to happen.
And I would never suggest that you
Never going to happen.
if you spit out a budget, and again, I'm not pointing, let me be real clear, I am not pointing at the mayor here, because the mayor did his job. The job is for the mayor is to put the budget out there. It's the job of the council to go through that budget and make the necessary changes and go through. How you make those necessary changes is you've got to come up with your priorities are, and you take those priorities and compare them to what the public think. You get the public forum, you put that together, you match it to the budget, go back to the mayor and say, here's the changes that we want to do. We have not outlined our priorities. You may think you did, but it's not on paper and hasn't been shown to the public. We haven't taken the time to even sit down and go over the budget, except for in this meeting, and we didn't go over details of it. We went to the last one.
Did you guys vote on minutes for a meeting you met on August 1st?
Yeah, that's exactly my point. We never even got past the priorities. My whole issue is that on that meeting, we couldn't even agree on what the priorities were, which means, how do you compare priorities to budget? And
Well, I think, hold on a second. You didn't agree on the priorities, but let's refresh now. Did you distribute it to anybody before the meeting? No. Did you distribute it to anybody at the meeting? No. You decided to ambush everybody and run the show over there and not let anybody see anything.
Yeah,
So you believe that, the consensus is going to happen?
Mark, that is not what happened. There's 180 degrees to it.
Did you, I never saw that stuff before you got it. Did you distribute it?
It's a workshop.
But did you distribute, you ran the slides, you had all the slides and all your objectives, and everything. Did you distribute it before the meeting?
Others should have come prepared, and nobody else did.
You were running the show. Did you not ask for the meeting? You asked for the meeting,
I
right?
begged for meetings.
Okay, and did I call the meeting? Yes. You had materials for the meeting.
I had my materials, okay?
Did you distribute them to everybody at the meeting? No.
They were distributed visually, and they were emailed within the.
Distributed visually? What does that mean? I
It's
mean,
a-
you flashed it on the screen.
It's a workshop, Mark. Have you ever
So
been to a
all I'm
budget
saying,
workshop?
Dan, is look,
If nobody,
if you
nobody
wanna have
came
workshops,
prepared.
that's great. Everybody is open-minded, I think that's great. We're looking for improvements,
They're
but
gonna-
you've got to be practical.
You're gonna yes, no
You
budget
have
with
to be
no
practical
details.
about what you wanna
You have
discuss.
$190,000 with no line items, and you're not taking care of the roads. So in a budget workshop, it would have called out that we've got this big nut to pay. And my
What
point to the
nut are we
council,
paying?
Mark, I'm addressing the council.
Okay, I'm asking you a question. What nut do we still have to pay?
We have roads that are failed, guys. We have
What's your
buses.
solution?
You go to this budget and find
How will
out.
budgeting solve this? Tell me what your solution is. Where will we find the
Are
money?
you honestly,
to do the roads?
I just wanna make sure I'm clear. Are you honestly saying that when infrastructure fails, we should ignore it? Because that's what this budget does.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying when we put in the concrete streets, the council said, if we do this, we will not blacktop, we will not have the money to go in and spend $80,000 or $90,000 on this, or raise the tax rate. If you only wanna do a nickel, then other things are going to suffer. Yes, that's exactly what they said. They said exactly that. That was the trade-off.
So
That
this is
these
just,
things had to give.
this is just a tennis match and nobody's winning here, so, yeah, if you wanna have the additional workshops, the ship has kinda sailed this year.
Why?
So we have another cycle coming up, start planning out the workshops that you wanna have.
Why is the ship sailing? I mean, I know that people delayed it to the point that we're running out of time here, but we've still got 3-4 weeks here.
We approved the budget, didn't we?
We just approved the budget, so if you wanna have additional
Got it.
workshops to amend the budget, then schedule. But if you're gonna sit down there and accuse me of not coming to a meeting unprepared for an expectation you didn't lay out, and you sit up there and present to everybody a bunch of slides and information, and then you're upset that nobody else came, but the expectations of what you wanted to achieve in the workshop weren't communicated ahead of time. I realize I didn't attend, but I would have felt I would have been on that distribution list to say, hey, here's the expectation of what, because normal open meetings, there's a packet. I'm just saying, if you wanna have additional meetings, schedule.
Okay. All right. Next up, we're 709. Dan?
So guys, in the last town meeting, what was that, July 11th? It came up that I didn't read the existing ordinance for the financial. And it's true, it's not posted on the website, didn't know about it, very, very interesting. But when I went through and read it, a couple things kind of popped out at me is that we're not following it.
Yep.
So the question I got is, first of all, why aren't you following it? What's it gonna take to get us back to it? And there's gotta be a reason, there's gotta be a way to say that we have an ordinance out there that we don't just ignore it. So it's the mayor's responsibility. Apparently you wrote it when you were on the council. I think we should probably say, hey, can we just go back?
When I was on the council, what else would I write?
I'm just saying, can we go back to at least starting this to, can we enforce our own ordinance? I think it's interesting.
Why do you think I wrote it?
Doesn't matter. It's an ordinance on the.
No, but who do you think wrote this ordinance?
Mark, if there's an ordinance on the books, it's
I
not
know, but
gonna follow.
what am I question? Who do you think wrote it?
I have no
I
concern.
did. I wrote every single ordinance in the town. I wrote every single one, other than.
So my question is, why did I follow it? I think it seems.
Why did I
relatively
write
easy.
it? Why did I write it?
I would like to think it's the right thing to do.
No, but why? What was the underlying reason? In 2007, why did I write this ordinance?
There's an ordinance on the books that we're not following. The
Okay,
financial
I know.
disclosure is a good
Why?
thing.
If you're gonna know that we're not following, the question would be, why was the ordinance in the first place? Maybe that would explain why we're not doing it.
There's an ordinance on the books.
So the reason why it's written, if you tell by the number, our ordinance numbers are based on the year. This was 2007, ordinance number 9. when was this thing,
When did we stop them?
when did I actually sign this? Let's see, when was it signed? What's the date?
Package that was-
September of 2007. So this was less than 3 months after taking office. I took office in May, so it's about 4 months after taking office, I wrote it. So why did I write it? Remember, we had no audit. We had no accounting system. There was no audits. There was a fraud. So in order to gain confidence in the town after the fraud, and before I could get an audit, no auditor would audit. There was nothing to audit in '07. We took over halfway through the year. So I wrote this. I'm the one that posted all of those. I posted every month these reports. Every single expense we did, I posted them on the bulletin board. We did that because I couldn't guarantee an audit. I had to wait until the end of '08 before I could get an audit done. So in order to let everybody know how we were doing things, until I could get the audit done, I did this. I wanted to post to gain everybody's confidence that we were doing well, we had the expenses, the revenues were in hand, to try and get confidence until we could get to an audit. Because the town was broke, because of the embezzlement, because there was no audit. So this was about improving the transparency, but with a stated goal of getting us through the audit. Let everybody see until we get to the audit, which is what we did. Once we got the audit in, nobody cared. Once it became audit, nobody cared each month. How much did we pay for the COSER bill? How much did we pay for the repairs? Nobody cared, because now the financials were audited. We had an auditor, an independent auditor coming in, verifying our books, and making sure that there wasn't any frauds going on, everything was good. That's why it stopped, just because we had the audits done. Now, I wrote this ordinance. I'm the one that posted everything. I wasn't the mayor. But I was the one in charge of the audit. I did all the financials. That's why I wrote it. Okay, so that was its purpose. Now that we have audited financials, it didn't make any sense to go through each month and post them when nobody cared. I asked people, do you want to see this? They said, we don't care.
Actually, I think the other piece of it too is that, what is it, about a year ago that we did a financials control ordinance. And had we remembered it, we would have repealed it then.
Yeah, we actually forgot to appeal it, to tell you the truth, because we don't post this stuff anymore. Now, can we post it online? Yeah, it's possible. If we need to sanitize it, I don't have a problem with doing that. But this particular ordinance was styled specifically because of the investment.
And
That's what it's for.
the reason it's not on the website is the priority was given to the ordinances that are used every day. And this was one that would just kind of come through the gaps. We can put it on the website, but it's not a big deal. It's easy. I think that part of the conversation that needs to be included is, do we even need to keep it as the need's not set? Technically, it's on the book, so we should probably actually, let's
Can we just-
post the stuff and consider it a future date if it's even needed.
So you remember our discussion a month ago? Best practice, post your receivables, post your payables, get your checkbook out, let people see the money's going, to eliminate any concerns. Now, you may not have any concerns because you're running the ship, but we have a basic ordinance here that says, hey, we're gonna at least post our receivables, we're gonna put the check register online. And you do that just to give transparency and give confidence. And if you remember, our conversation again was, the STAR program is to build confidence and eliminate the concern that the government doing something that we don't know about. All I'm saying is, I know you guys are nervous about going to the next step, but let's at least follow what we have.
I think that's what we just kind of talked about here, is that,
So we'll follow that?
yeah, I mean, it's on the books, so I mean, if talking to Linda about it is not a significant effort, there's a little bit of effort, so we can do it, monitor it. But I also think we should keep in consideration that, and we, like I said, if we remembered it, we would have got rid of it, because it's, I think it's kind of sunset, but.
Yeah, I mean, its goal was to get us to the audit.
Right, so I think it's an active document, so let's follow it, we'll take a look at it. If the interest drops off like it did once before, then we'll revisit it then.
Oh, you guys, very good.
Okay? All right. Next up,
There is no next step.
council and staff comments. Local action take? Or staff?
Staff is finishing a sentence, and then I will, give you a couple of times. First of all, I should have done this a couple of months ago, and I apologize that I did. Mayor Pro Tem Reed made by hand this beautiful flag, and I should have wanted to call attention to that. And we also made the wooden box that we use for our letters, which is amazing compared to the old post office tote box that we had prior. So I appreciate his skill and to do that.
I gotta tell you that, but that thing is awesome.
It is awesome. He's been a long
That's a
time doing that. He
huge
did a great job. He did this, and then I've got one that's in the shape of a state in my office, that I really like. So thank you, Adam, for that. I also wanted to say that our sign looks fabulous. Ed and Clint and Mark worked really hard on that. I watched them, I stood by and drank water and watched them work.
Former Councilman Dave Kepka.
Yeah, he did stop in.
While we worked.
But they changed out the plexiglass on the marquee, and now you can read it, and there's no break in it. I also wanted to let y'all know that, the Texas Municipal League Conference is in Austin, and, it will be October 4th through the 7th. So, you can go on the website, see if there's anything that interests you. If you wanna go, let me know, and we can, make arrangements for you to
Typically, if
attend.
you go to TML, if you wanna go further, you can go one night. Pick where you wanna go. Town traditionally pays your lodging, but we don't pay for you to drive there. Other than when it gets paid. But we don't, so we pick up the registration fee of the city, and we also pick up your hotel in the city. But, that's just what we've done in the past. Drive down later on, drive your own car down. That's kind of what we do.
So they've got an agenda, and they've got, concurrent classes, so you can look and see what kind of talks are going on, if there's something. Let me know, but I do need to know fairly soon, so I can get your registration in. And then one more thing, you'll find bracelets at your spot. These are, I made a donation in the town's name, that was me personally, I didn't spend city money, to a fund that goes directly to those, slain police officers' families. And this was their thank you. So if you have like 30 seconds after we're done, we're the only city that did this officially, because I did it in our name. I would like to have a picture of the council, all of us, with our bracelets on, and we can post that on the Dallas page,
With you in there.
if you would like.
I would assume you should be the one for us, right?
That's great.
Okay?
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
All right. Anything else?
That is it, that's all I got.
Everything, I can't think of anything else. Ed?
No,
Got anything?
I'm good.
Okay. Nope. Okay, all right. I need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn and a quick second by Ed. Those in favor? Okay. Okay. Yes, Gary? We're done.